Welcome to a last-minute edition of the Murtz Show. I figure it's 1:15 in the morning. I'm not doing anything. You're not doing anything. Typical Saturday night, I feel like, for most of us who are addicted to the live feeds. And I thought, what better way to spend the evening than talking a little Big Brother Canada? I haven't actually talked about the season since it started, since I did my pre-show with Robin Cass, who casted it, and I was chatting with Ian Terry, and I thought, hey, why not make a Murtz show out of this conversation? So with that being said, feel free to start submitting your questions. You can do that by hitting the submit question button, or joining us by hitting the camera button, which you will find on your screen. You can also tweet using the tweet button up there, and there's also the Facebook share button. So let's get Ian on here and get this thing started. Ian, welcome to the Murtz Show.
Hey, Murtz. Thank you for having me.
So let's just get right into it, Ian. Are you watching the show?
Can you
Yeah,
hear me
you're
all right?
perfect. You're perfect. Tell me what you think of Big Brother Canada so far.
Okay, cool. You're breaking up a little bit. Murtz?
I think Ian's having some connection issues. Ian, I just wanted to know what you thought of Big Brother Canada so far.
Hello? Murtz?
Yes,
You're breaking up.
Ian, I think you're breaking up. Can you hear me? Okay, we're going to take him off. I think Ian is having some connection problems. In the meantime, I will I'll talk a little bit about it with you until Ian figures it out. What does everybody think about the Big Brother Canadian edition? I feel I was in the house. I feel like it's certainly better than I thought it was going to be. I think in terms of the casting, I think that it's interesting. It's fun sort of seeing a show with a new cast, rather than like having retreads, you know? Let me see if I can get Ian back on here.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Hey, can I hear you? Can you hear me?
Perfect. Much better. Yeah. Talk from this side.
All right.
Okay.
So tell me tell me what you think of the show.
So far, so good. It seems like a hybrid of like an international version of Big Brother and American Big Brother. But so far, pretty, I'm entertained. I'm watching. I've seen the few episodes that have aired so far, and I like it. I'm entertained.
You know, I think that the idea of having a cast that we haven't seen before is quite refreshing to me. You know, I'm while I like seeing returning players, it's definitely fresh to sort of see people that are new, that are sort of playing their own way rather than combating somebody that's like coming back. Isn't that refreshing to you?
You know what I really like about it is it kind of has the feeling of like a back to basics sort of American
Right.
version, like it, and it sort of brings me back. It's kind of has the same sort of seriousness that an early version has of Big Brother America, where it's not like everyone's running around in unitards and doing all this silly stuff. Like it feels like an old school Big Brother US, which I like.
And it's kind of like, you know, it's funny that you say that because it is like an old school Big Brother US, emphasis on the old school. Like I almost feel like we're watching season 1 of Big Brother US, you know, like one giant alliance. No one really like is making these like pocket alliances. It's almost surreal to see because I can tell you this for a fact. I know for a fact that every single person in that Big Brother house is a huge Big Brother fan. So I don't understand why we're not seeing more 3 alliances, 4 alliances. It's like this one group of 9,
Yeah,
and that's
I'm not exactly sure either. I think that maybe they're a little bit too afraid to, go right off the bat, just come out strong out of the gate. And so far, I mean, the people in there, it seems pretty weak. Um, Obviously, I have people that I like and I think are doing really well. And yeah, I think that they're gonna go pretty far in this game.
I think that I think certainly Peter is the standout character. Like I feel
Yes,
like most
yes,
people that I talk to, like after even watching it, even Robin said that Peter was probably her favorite person to cast. I
yes.
feel like it's just easily his game to lose. I don't see him in any danger. We haven't even seen him having to do any of the duplicative stuff that he promised, and I feel like at this point he doesn't even have to. Like I feel like even a scaled down
Yeah.
version of Peter is better than everybody else in there.
Here's what I really noticed last night when I saw a little bit of feed was it was I believe Dale and no it was Topaz and Gary were having a discussion about all the house guests in the house, and they were house guest and commenting about them, but they totally forgot Peter. So Peter's not even on their radar. Peter is playing that good game that exists.
Oh, Ian, you are breaking up, my friend. Can you guys hear Ian?
Yeah, you can hear me? Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
wait, now I think you're back. Whoa, maybe it's just me. Weird. Okay, sorry, I missed that point then, Ian.
Okay. I think he's doing really well.
Oh, that is not going to work for me. I cannot hear Ian at all. So I'll bring him back on in a second. I can't believe you guys can hear him. I hear like one word. You guys could all seriously hear him? Yeah, choppy for me too. I don't know where he is. He just messaged me and said his internet is quite choppy. I will try and bring him back one more time. I think he's on Wi-Fi. Hey.
All right.
Yeah, are you on
Can you
Wi-Fi?
hear me better? Okay.
Are you on Wi-Fi, Ian?
Okay.
Ian? Alright, Ian. With
Yep.
apologies, Ian, I think that's not going to work, so I think I'm going to handle this one by myself. Um, in any event, I mean, I feel like certainly this is Peter's game to lose. I feel like he is definitely in the best position, but what's interesting to me is sort of the generation of Neil's character. I feel like most people picked Neil to win, and I mean, I don't know what happened. His game has sort of collapsed faster than anyone else's I've ever seen. He had a breakdown in the House today with regard to being nominated, and for somebody who is supposedly doing his PhD on Big Brother, he certainly isn't playing like it. Now with no Ian here, I feel like I'm gonna need a lot of questions from you guys to keep this show going. Yeah, Sergio, feel free. Hit the camera button. I'll just make sure your camera is working. Yeah, okay.
Hello.
Hey,
Okay, okay.
I
Now,
can't hear you.
okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's better.
Good. Okay, good. Okay. Now, now, I've actually watching the feeds and stuff like that off of Big Brother Canada. Way totally different, than the U.S. version of Big Brother, because of that sense. It's like, I mean, you are right, and I do agree with you. It is way totally different. It's more or less back to the basics, and I do like that a lot. And
No,
I agree
I
with you again. Also, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, you know what, Sergio? It's 2013. Like, I understand that it's the first season of a Canadian show, but I don't understand why they're playing like they've never seen a reality show before.
Well, no, no, you're actually all right because I mean, I guess what kind of gets me the most though is that they're talking about Big Brother 14 a lot, and I'm hearing on the feeds and stuff like that they're talking about him so much, I'm like, wait a minute, you've actually seen it, but you're not doing too much about this. I'm like, come on, you got to step it up a little bit. Now, it's just mind-boggling to me, in that sense too as well, because they haven't seen it. I mean, obviously they've seen it somewhere.
No, definitely. I just, what I don't understand is like why, we're now, they moved in about 3 weeks ago, so like, I think it's 3 weeks, yeah, because they moved in a week before the show started. And I don't really understand why we're not seeing, the pairing up. We're not seeing like the Jason and Danielles. We're not seeing like the Hardy and the Nicoles. We just have this one big alliance with no inner alliances except for maybe Peter and Alec and Tom and Emmett. So I don't understand what like Gary and Liza and even my friend AJ, I don't really understand what they're doing. Like, are they just sitting there swimming, or are we not seeing the alliances that they think that they're in?
Well, I'm guessing what's McCall. When I've actually seen AJ, when I've seen AJ, I mean, there's something there. He's not trying to show his cards out on what you've said before. He does have something there, but it's not really showing out too much. Now, as far as Gary is concerned, I've actually seen what Gary has done. He's with Topaz, obviously, and he's with Jillian. We can actually see that on the feeds. Now, with that intel, I mean, obviously he's going about chewing on everybody's ear, making sure everybody knows that, hey, look, you know what, I'm the nice guy. I'm going to go ahead and be your friend. At that same token, hey, you can come talk to me about anything. But at the same time, I'm like, look, you know what? That's going to hurt you in the long run
Hmm.
with Gary. I
Yeah.
think.
No, yeah, no, for sure, for sure. I feel like what's happened is that all the alliances were certainly made in the first week, and I feel like we didn't get to see that, like when the show started. Like, I can tell you for a fact that AJ's plan was to definitely make an all guy alliance, and he made one allusion to it, right? He already said that, like, yeah, it's our 4 pack to the end. So I feel like he thinks that he's with Peter, Alec, and Andrew. What he doesn't know is that they have a much bigger plan, So he's kind of like their plan B.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the case, and I guess that's the kind of the scenario with him. He's thinking that he has that all guy alliance, which is which is kind of pervious because you know what they because the guys that he's with they actually have another alliance, so he's kind of like, okay, I'm
Right.
that plan B if nothing works out.
Yeah, but is he blind to that? Can he not see that these other people are? That's really what I'm not understanding. Is like, it's to me at least, and I think to most feed watchers, we can see this coming a mile away, which is always the case. But I feel like they're being very obvious. Like, I don't really understand how Liza and Anil and Gary, and Suzette. I don't understand, and even AJ. I don't know how they don't see that they're on the outside. Why aren't they trying to get something together to combat this?
Well, again, like I said, what they want to do, as we all know with Big Brother, we know that hey, it's best to keep it under the radar. It's best not to try to rile up so many feathers. But with what Anil has been doing, he's been trying to rile up a lot of feathers. He wants to try to get that whole drama aspect of that whole thing. Oh well, just like in that first week, remember, how we were spreading all the glitter around and stuff like that, making everybody more pissed off at Gary because he's wearing too much glitter. I swear to
Hmm.
God, the guy has so much goddamn glitter. I mean, good word. That guy can piss out glitter, literally. Do you know what I mean? But never the fact. Never that fact. But still with the same token, I'm like, hey, look, you know what? Everybody's getting pissed off at him. So that's what Anil was trying to do, but it's kind of backfired on him now.
Right, right. No, I agree, and I think that Anil. I mean, Anil is a fascinating case study. Like, I got to tell you, I had completely read this guy wrong. Like, I thought that this guy was going to play under the radar in all his pre-show interviews. He said that he was going to play under the radar. Although, with that being said, Kat said the same thing too, and just like Anil, she also played too hard, even though that wasn't her plan going in. So, is Anil a good player, or did we all give him too much credit? I think we definitely gave him too much credit.
Well, I kind of think on that same term, kind of like, what, we gave him too much credit in the very beginning because he's playing a game, but yet he's kind of he's kind of dwindling that fact. Like, okay, wait a minute, he wants to be that good player, but then he's kind of reverting back to where like, oh, I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but I'm like, wait a minute, dude, you've ruffled so many feathers, you're talking too quick, too fast already in that sense.
Hmm.
And I do agree with what,
Totally.
what Ian said too as well on there.
Well, who cares if you're slightly on the outs? It's okay to be 10th as long as you're not 14th. Well, I think that I think that at this point now, the 10th does start to make a difference because, after this week, all of these people that are on the outs are not going to have the numbers to make any strike against this power thing. Like, I think that the move has to come in the upcoming week. Like, I feel like if Emmett or if Tom or if Peter or if Alec win the next HOH, you can pretty much stick a sock in this. This game is done.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No doubt. I mean, the first episode when I saw this, I'm like, okay, when they had Andrew and Emin up there, they needed to get those at least one of those two guys out of there quick, but they didn't do that. And I'm thinking, and even what was it? The other house guests were like, oh well, kind of made I made a dumb mistake in kicking her out, kicking Kat out, not kicking the other person. I'm like, well, that's your kind of dumb mistake. I mean, really, like you should have gotten those, you should have gotten the power players out of there first. One of them, at least, anyway.
Yeah, and I don't understand really. I don't understand the hate against Suzette because I got to tell you that like I gave Suzette absolutely no credit heading in. I thought she was going to be a terrible player. I thought she was going to be out in the first or second week. Suzette is actually turning into probably one of my favorite players this season. Like the fact that like within 2 minutes she has the guts to put up Tom and Emmett. I feel like this girl is there to play, and I think that also while Tom is after her, I feel like she's done a really good job at sort of putting the target on other people. Like her name is not coming up nearly as much anymore, considering she was the last HOH.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, I mean, again, obviously, as we heard it before, when, or was it, and I'm watching the feeds, obviously, with Jillian and I'm sorry, with Liza that's there, and I think she's talking with, if I'm not mistaken, Andrew. With that side, thinking, obviously, again, they're talking about it, but they're not talking about Suzette a lot. I mean, her name is out there, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not too much out there to I mean, to where it's like can I make it that big of an impact? I think anybody has, and myself too as well. I didn't give her that much credit. When she did that, I'm like, wow, you know what? I'm gonna give this chick some credit because you know what? She at least had the balls, at least enough to say, hey, look, I'm gonna get these two big guys out of here. First off, because she
Mm-hmm.
didn't know them. She said, "Hey, like I'm gonna get them out of here." Just to
Mm-hmm.
swing of a
Mm-hmm.
whim.
I mean, I think that move definitely impressed me because I think that most people in that scenario would have gone for like easy targets. They would have probably put up like, Gary and
Mm-hmm.
Danielle or something. So certainly I feel like she's there to win, but at the same time, we give her credit for putting up Tom and Emmett. But aside from that one move, it's not like she's trying to put anything else together. Like, unless she thinks that she's in the lines with like Liza or something that we're not seeing, I don't really understand why they're all good with this status quo.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, again, so I guess you can say it goes back to what Big Brother US was done, and then they're looking at like, okay, wait a minute, she's did a big move, so we want to try to keep her there because you know what, she's done that, at least one big move, at least impressed somebody there. So it's like, okay, hey, like you know what, she's there to play, so we're gonna try to keep her around for a little bit more longer, and that's what I think that you're trying to do.
No, for sure, for sure. In your opinion, what do you think about Andrew's game?
Andrew's game, I mean, what I've stuff that I've seen, I'm like, he's played it. I mean, he's played a good social game. Do not get me wrong. This guy has played a good social game. The other aspect of it, I mean, he's done a good social game, but yet he's kind of you know talked a little bit more than he should. He needs to just tone it down a little bit. As far as his gameplay goes, I mean, it's
Hmm.
borderline almost really good. Not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think he's playing. I think he's playing well. Like, I think that he doesn't really need to play hard. I think that he's sort of playing the same game that Peter is, which is like just play social for now and make your commitments a little bit later. He's just got to hang to the jury and then wait to become somebody else's extra vote. So I'm actually much more impressed with Andrew than I thought I would be.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. No, but again, I do agree with you too. I mean, on that because I mean, with what I've seen with Andrew, and then with what he's done, obviously, he's I guess the one mistake that he was doing in the very beginning, he kind of he he made up for it basically. Whatever mistake that he did make in the very beginning, he made up for that mistake.
Ooh, this is a good question here coming in from Avon Clark. Murtz, you ranked AJ so much beforehand. Where do you rank him now? Well, you know what, Avon, like I'm a very honest person. Like I do not think AJ is playing the best game right now. I certainly think that right now he should be making moves. He should be sort of trying to guarantee his safety because he's probably going to be the replacement nominee. If not, he's going to be nominated next week 100%. And I feel like he's just happy with the status quo. Like certainly I think that maybe the experience is a lot different than when we chatted about it, because I'm not seeing the AJ that I know right now.
No, and I agree with you too because you know what, so much hype, with age, and I'm thinking, and I saw him when he was doing, his intros and stuff like that, in his interview.
Yep.
I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute, okay, this guy is really good, okay, because so he knows the game, but then all of a sudden, he just went completely the other route. I'm like, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, wait a minute, why would he go this? Why would he go another route than he wanted to do the first time around? I'm thinking, wait a minute, no, you can't go two ways. You just got to go the one route that you were planning to do in the first place.
Yeah.
So my ranking
to the point where, well, that's the thing, Sergio, is like I feel like he's so under the radar that I don't think it's strategy. I just think that like it's getting to him.
Mm-hmm. No, it really is. I mean, but some nights that I've seen him, I mean, this guy, I mean, he's talking to himself, but yet he's thinking out loud, and that's gonna hurt him, and that's gonna hurt him short term to long term because you know what? Because people are gonna start to wonder, wait a minute, what is he talking about when he's not in the room? And I've seen that a lot. I'm like, wait a minute, dude, he's talking to himself. I mean, granted, he's strategizing with himself, like, okay, well, this is what I can do, this is what I can do, this is what I can do, like that and so forth. But he's playing the game kind of a little too quick.
Right. Yeah. It's just I don't know. It's I think that like it's a case of like Monday morning quarterbacking. Like I feel like AJ's a perfect example of like, we sit there and we analyze like what the Brigade did or what the Renegades did or what Chilltown did. And you always have that conversation where it's like, well, if we were in the house, this is what we would do. And now here he is. He's in the house after having that conversation with him for so long. And he's not doing what we talked about for so long. And so maybe this is a lesson that Monday morning quarterbacks might not really be able to play the game like they thought they did. And unless he's going to pull something off here, I'm worried. I don't see him lasting now into the final 6, into the final 7,
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, I mean, if anything, if AJ decides, hey, look, I'm gonna slow it down here. I'm going to now not to try to play too quick so fast because that's what he's doing right now. He's playing really, trying to play a really fast-paced game, which he doesn't really need to do that. He just needs to just slow it down and say, wait a minute, let me go ahead and let everybody else start, combating with themselves, and then I'm going to go ahead and start making my own little moves, step by step, little by little. It's kind of like baby steps, doing those baby steps, letting him do baby steps, little bit by little, but still getting that little point across into there, getting his little niche into there.
Totally. Sergio, any final thoughts? I'm going to try and get Ian back on here in a second, but what else do you think, and who's your pick to win?
Well, my pick to win, and I'm looking at all the cast members here, and I'm thinking, my best bet, I would say, to win it all. Ooh, God, I almost want to say, I almost want to say that Peter. I almost want to say Peter because you know what?
Yeah.
He's played that phenomenal game that it's just like that you're just kind of like, whoa, you know what? He's doing it so well. He's
totally.
He's not under anyone's radar at all. Nobody knows. Okay, well, they're still friends with him. He's being the nice guy. He's not ruffling any feathers. He's just right in the middle of it all, letting everybody else.
And yet we know that he's a killer. Like all the fans know he's a killer.
Exactly. Like I said,
yeah.
He's not letting anybody know this. That's the beauty part about Peter.
I love it. I love it. All right. Ian wants to head on in. Sergio, thank you so much. Stick
Yeah, no
around
problem.
and hit us up with a question for Ian in a sec.
Alrighty.
All right. Thanks for stepping in. And so let's get Ian back on here.
Hi. Much better now.
Oh
Much
my
better.
goodness, where was this? Okay, now first, okay, while you talk about this season, Ian, I'm gonna go and tell Jokers that you're back.
Yes.
So why don't you tell me who you think are in the top three right now?
I like Peter. I'm really holding out hope for AJ. As long as he doesn't get nominated this week. It's the people that have close calls early on. And what's the dad's name there? I believe that's
Andrew.
Andrew. Yeah, I like Andrew. I like
Well,
Andrew.
you know what's funny is that I don't even think he's a dad, is he?
He's not. He's just old.
Yeah, well, he's not even old. He's 38.
He's older. He's
Right.
older. I like Andrew. No, and I also will say I do like Alec. But those would be my top four at the moment. I feel like the model curse should, with Gary winning POV, the model curse should strike this week. Danielle, hopefully, will be the replacement nominee. I'm really hoping.
It's not looking that way, Ian. I feel like it's going to be AJ. Danielle's name hasn't come up in the last 2 days.
God, I mean, she was but I'm really hoping it's not AJ because I mean, Jillian. I don't know if you heard the diary room leak. Did you hear the diary room leak?
No.
Jillian went into the diary room and the producer was like, "Hey, what's up? How's it going, Jillian?" And she's like, "I feel like I'm gonna throw up." And they go, "So who are you going to nominate?" And she said, "Gary and Danielle."
Do you know when that was?
I don't know. Is this not playing out live? I thought that was earlier today that I heard that.
Okay, earlier today. Yeah, okay. I mean, I know that Anil was sort of trying to make a pitch to get AJ up as the replacement.
Yeah. I'm really hoping Danielle. I'm really hoping it's Danielle.
You know, I don't. The other thing that's really. There's a few things that shock me about this season, but another one is that I definitely thought that Anil and AJ would be on the same page. And they're almost anything but. You know, I don't really get that at all. Like, I feel like what's happening is, I can tell you this for a fact, Ian, is that AJ loved the Brigade and loved Chilltown. Loved them. Like, he was all about the guy alliances. He loved the idea of, like, guys winning all the physical challenges. You know, like, he was really big on, like, guys winning physical challenges. And so I think that that's why he has this, like, need to only align with, like, Alec and Tom and Emmett, you know, when he doesn't seem to be cognizant of the fact that they're much tighter with each other than they are with him.
Right. Well, I always said, and when I was playing my season, was who cares if I'm fifth? Yeah, of course I'm fifth in this alliance of 5. As long as I'm not, I'm not at the forefront of the alliance, and if the other players are thinking rationally, I shouldn't be a nominee. Like, the only reason I would have gone up was because Frank was blinded by rage. So you ideally should be at the back of an alliance. AJ, if he doesn't go up this week, he should be in a good position for a long run because it only takes one HOH, and those 4 will scramble if they get found out.
Yeah, and I mean, and I also feel like you can start to see the cracks. You know, like Tom is definitely not as safe as I once thought he was.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing is, I think Boogie put this perfectly when I was playing in the house. Was we had this alliance of 6. It was me, Jen, Frank, Joe, Will, and Ashley. This alliance of 6 pre-reset, and we're really tight. We're unbreakable, really strong alliance, right? And then Shane sinks a 20 in this crapshoot hockey game. Mike Boogie goes to me, he's like, as soon as Shane sunk the 20, he's like, that alliance is over, done with. It takes one HOH, and the dynamics of the house shift completely. So it's a week-by-week game.
I agree, but
one HOH to go after that 4, and it's over.
No, totally. But the thing is, I genuinely don't see any of these outsiders winning HOH. That's my honest opinion. Like, I can't see any of them beating Emmett, beating Tom, beating Jillian at like anything, you know. And I feel like, I mean, unless Alec and Peter win, but Alec and Peter are with them, so even that will make a difference.
Do you know who won the most recent POV?
Yes.
I mean, these games, anybody can win them. I mean, anybody. Even Chicken George won HOH. Anybody can win an HOH.
Right.
I mean, literally anyone.
Well, I guess that's true, but I guess, but the thing is, you know, I do feel like people compete differently when they're on the block and they need a veto versus how much they actually want to win an HOH. You know, like the fact that Gary wins a veto.
Do we even know what the veto game was? Like, do we have a general idea of what the game he won was?
No, but I think the popular joke is that it had to be something with glitter.
Glitter, I'm sure.
Can we talk a little bit more, Ian, about the disintegration of Anil? Because Dan was here. Sure. I've been hanging out with Dan for the last 4 days, sure. And we just kept going back and forth, and we both kept saying this is Anil's game to lose. And what happened? I mean, no one saw this coming.
You know, I certainly didn't either. Apparently, Jillian went into the dining room dead set on nominating Gary and Danielle, and Anil and
Emmett.
No. Anil and Gary somehow ended up on the block.
No, but what I mean is, like, Emmett was the one who convinced her single-handedly.
Oh, okay, right. Well, I guess Emmett clearly has Jillian in his back pocket, so I mean, I don't know. I think Anil, if he gets through this week, might be in a decent shot to win. But I mean, it's going to be tight. They really need. I'm really hoping they just get Danielle this week because I don't think she really adds anything to the show.
Exactly.
She's not that hot. Not really entertaining me. I really want a guy. I really want one of the guys to win this one.
I definitely agree. Like, in terms of, like, pure entertainment on the show, I think that Emmett, I think that, like, in terms of pure entertainment, we got to get rid of Danielle. And also, I feel like Emmett is actually the center point for a lot of the action. Like, I thought this guy had never seen the show before. I thought he was going to be a complete dud. I thought that he would probably, honestly, Ian, I thought that he would be the Alec, like, getting a showmance, and then, you know, people would target him and he'd be gone. But he actually has a lot more game than I initially thought. The fact that he sniffed out Anil as being the biggest threat, I think, is like props to Emmett.
You know, this game, the thing that's crazy about this Big Brother game is we have seen it time and time again that people will be recruited. They'll have no idea whatsoever about the rules. Like, Shane goes into the house and doesn't know what the power of veto is. And they still go far. It's not... At its core, once you get the general idea of how to play, it doesn't give you that much of an advantage over the people that have been watching for years. So I think that's going to be one of those things that you're going to have to look out for is it only takes a couple of days to learn actually how to understand the game. And if you're smart, you can actually pick up on how to really play it.
You know, one of the other things that people are talking about is the lack of, like, hotness in the chicks this season. You know, like... You know, and the thing is, like, people are saying, oh, this is so much better than the American one because at least there's no returning players. You know, while it might be, and while the game is a little bit more interesting to watch, I mean, we do not see any Kristens on this season. We do not see any, like, Ashleys on this season. Like, I mean, I gotta say, I do like Robin's
is probably the most attractive girl, right?
Yeah, and that's what, I mean, Robin said that, you know, this season was all about, like, Topaz in terms of, like, how hotness, but, like, you know, a season is not built on one girl.
No, it isn't. I think Tala is probably the most attractive girl to me anyway, as far as, like, my type, but really lacking on the hot girls. Like, Danielle, really, that's supposed to be, like, one of the attractive girls that's, like, carrying this. I don't think that's going to cut it.
No, I don't think so either. Like, and I mean, they lost Kat too, you know.
Right, Kat was cute. She was cute, but she's out. So, I mean,
I gotta tell you, Ian. I interviewed her, and you will not believe how much she looks like Natalie Martinez. I thought I was interviewing Natalie Martinez.
I also got the Natalie Martinez vibe from her as well. Like, not like the pre-show pictures, but like actually watching her. Yeah.
I want to know, in your opinion, who would be the most entertaining HOH next? If you could, if in your ideal world, if you could pick the next HOH, who would you like to see win it?
Well, I always love a good flip, right? The power shift is what Big Brother's all about. So who do you sorry, have a cold. Who do you
Yeah,
think
me
would
too. Me too. You'll notice I'm
yeah
doing that too.
who do you think would create the biggest power shift here? Um, I always like it when a rank outsider gets it, and it seems like AJ is kind of on the outside. I think AJ getting HOH would be a fun round for me to see.
See, I actually don't think it would because I know that AJ thinks he's with the guy,
Oh,
so
he
he's just gonna,
thinks. So he
do
thinks.
what they say, right? He's just gonna put up like Gary and Suzette.
He would be an interesting pawn for them, but it's always when that rank outsider gets it. So you would have about a good amount of the house at least pissed off that he won.
Well, Michelle over here says she'd like to see Gary win it. That would be a worst case scenario for me because you know he's going after
I don't.
AJ.
I really don't like Gary at all. I don't
Really?
find him
Why?
entertaining. He's like my least favorite. It's just like makes me uncomfortable. Like I just don't like watching him at all. I don't find him entertaining. It's almost sorry about that. Gosh, I don't find him entertaining. I really don't like him. He just seems like too much, too much.
Did you watch the first episode? Did you see me
I
on the
did.
first episode?
I didn't see you. Were you in the
Oh
audience?
my
I didn't
gosh,
see you.
you're gonna crack up, Ian. Like I'm literally go back and watch it because as soon
I'm
as
gonna
they
have to
come
look.
down, well, like
Yeah.
when they're entering the house and they come down the stairs, I
Hmm.
am like literally right there. So like when Gary came down, he
Yeah.
like had this like glitter in his hand. So they say, and our next house guest is Gary, and he throws the glitter up in the air when he comes out, and I'm like standing right under the glitter, going like this. It's
That's
pretty funny.
funny.
You got to go back and
That's
watch it.
crazy. I'm gonna have
It's
to
pretty
look. I'm
hilarious.
gonna have to look. That was what one of the things I found out when I came back to school here was someone that lived in my building last year was like, yo, I was at like the first like actual eviction show, like in the audience. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
really? I'm like, the one Kara was voted out. They're like, yeah, I was there, and like Julie was like, you know someone in the house, and Julie, they said, yeah, we know Ian, yeah. So that was pretty cool. But I have to go back and look for you.
I literally just check like, and then also check when AJ comes down. That's pretty hilarious too. I just kept screaming
Oh
brown
shit!
power in his face.
Did he notice?
Yeah, he. Well, I mean, it's funny because the thing is, I obviously, I was like
Yeah,
dying to
Alec
tell
would
him,
be a good HOH.
like I was dying to tell him, like watch out for Peter because I knew Peter was going to be dangerous. But then I realized that he was probably mic'd, so I couldn't really say anything. So like, I figured just screaming like brown power at him, he would get the sort of vibe that I thought that he should align with Anil.
Yeah. I would actually say Peter is Peter is what I wish I was in the first few weeks of my Big Brother experience. Like Peter is playing it exactly how I wanted to play it. He's doing very well right now. Very
Yeah,
well. If I had to pick a
and
winner, it's Peter. But again, it takes one bad week.
well, I mean, the other thing about Peter too is that I feel like, well, I feel like he's on another level. I feel like it's Dr. Will playing against like Autumn, like it's he's
Yeah.
not even in the
Yeah.
same league as them. And in addition, I feel like I think that what might hurt this season is that if Peter is not the maniacal genius that we all want him to be, because he doesn't
Right.
need to be, it might hurt the entertainment value. I'd almost rather wish that he was in trouble so we could start seeing him make some moves, because at this point, he just needs to ride the status quo. He doesn't need to be entertaining.
I mean, his back will be against the wall at some point. That's how Big Brother works. I don't think any winner has not like been in a position in which they face some form of adversity at some point. Maybe Hayden. Hayden didn't really have much of an issue. That being said, I'm sure we'll see that, and I'm sure that he'll excel in that scenario. I think Peter right now has this game on lock.
Let's see. Nicole has a question for you. Who are you rooting for?
Peter, and I would like to see AJ win. I also like Andrew. Alec is cool too. Alec was Rob Sesternino's pick from the start, and I actually do quite like Alec. He's mentioned me a few times on the feeds. I like Alec.
And actually, Dan was a big Alec fan too, but I think he lost some points with Dan when he admitted that he was a social psychologist, because Dan was like, why did he keep saying that?
Yeah, that's the thing is jobs do actually affect it. I mean, if you say you're a nurse, it's not going to make a difference. But like when I went into the house, and I said, "Oh yeah, I'm a chemical engineering student," like Willie during the first few days was like kept saying to me, "He's like, you have a career outside of here. Like you have a career." I mean, that's a reason. People are looking for any reason to get you out. So Willie was running around saying he'll be making $100K a year when he graduates. He doesn't need the money. He doesn't need to be here. That puts a target on your back. And we saw in Survivor Africa, to make a huge throwback reference, Dr. Carl was the dentist, booted out because they knew he was raking in good money. So yeah, your career can hurt you. So I agree. Sometimes it's difficult to lie because you need to keep that up for 75 whole days. But in that case, I would definitely advise that he should lie about it.
Totally, totally. Ian, are you loving the quietness of the hammock on Big Brother Canada?
Yeah, because it's a brand new hammock. I always said they needed to just give us some WD-40 and we'd have been good. They would never give us WD-40, and that's why you had to put up with the squeaking all summer long. If they gave us WD-40 one time, it would have been fine.
Nice. Let's see. How about this? Do you see anyone trying to employ any recent Big Brother US strategies in the future? If so, who, and do you think they will be successful?
Peter again. I think when Peter's back is against the wall, I could see Peter is probably the only one in there that I think. Like I've obviously looked at my season fairly in depth, and I was thinking about like, well, if I was in this situation, what would have been the proper Hail Mary, if you will? I could see Peter just pulling out some crazy, almost funeral-esque type move to save his hide if it ever comes down to that. So I think Peter would likely be the one.
Here's something that like some people might not know is that Peter actually has reality show experience, as does Anil. So and I don't think that it's a coincidence that the two that are sort of playing, up until today, so leaving aside today, Anil and Peter were definitely playing the best games, and I think that the reason for that is that they have TV experience before. Like Anil auditioned for So That You Can Dance Canada. Peter was on Drafted, which is like a reality show here to like cast a sportscaster. So, plus not to mention his YouTube experience. Like I just feel like their comfort with the camera is definitely helping their game. Whereas like somebody like AJ, who hasn't been on camera before, is sort of like wilting a little bit under the pressure.
He is, and also AJ, like I want him to do well, but he seemed like his interactions with the other contestants, it seems very stilted, if you will. Like,
yeah.
Yes. Good Lord. Yesterday I saw him, shortly before the eviction show, or not yesterday, but a few days ago. Like he was sitting at the kitchen table. I forget what he was doing. He was like playing with silverware as if they were dominoes or something. Like he was playing with something on the kitchen table, and he just came off as so awkward and so stilted in his interactions with the other contestants. Definitely cause for concern. That said, if he doesn't get nominated this week, he's pickings for another time, and it just takes a few weeks, and if he falls into the right spot at the right time, he could go far.
See, I do agree that like I do think if he's the replacement nominee, I think that's really bad because there's a lot of time still before Thursday where Anil could save himself, and we both know he will be making a push to, like, even if it means making a deal with Tom and Emmett,
Anil is definitely not somebody I'd want to be nominated against. Absolutely not. I would not feel comfortable being against Anil. He seems like he could work himself off the block. AJ survives this week. He's in a good spot, though, because last night the discussion between Topaz and Gary was like, what about AJ? Yeah, he's annoying, but not
Well, that's
a
the
threat
kind.
now.
Yeah, but that's the conversation with like everybody, you
Every
know.
single person.
Yeah,
He's
like what do you think
annoying.
about? He's
He's
annoying. He's
annoying, but
annoying.
not right
Well, I
now.
mean, he does talk a lot. I
Yeah.
would tell him that to his face, but he would tell you that to his face. You know, he
Right.
said that in his
Absolutely.
pregame interviews. You know,
Right.
I actually have to run and get something. Sergio,
Okay.
I'm gonna put you on camera to talk to Ian for a second while I come back.
Okay.
Hang on one second. Just make sure he's on camera. Uno. Okay, yes, he is. All right, I will let you guys chat for a second. I will be right back.
Not a problem.
All right. How's it going, Sergio?
Yeah, it's going pretty good, Ian. It's going pretty good.
Good.
Now,
Good stuff.
now, now, I do agree with you on that sense on what, and like I told Murtz, he's like, look, you know what? AJ just needs to just relax himself. That's all he needs
Exactly.
to do is relax. And if he
Right.
does that, he's gonna make it far. And I think he will do that. If because again, as I said it before, he's playing too quick, too fast.
Right. Right.
He's playing what Frank did. What Frank did.
Right.
Playing too
Exactly.
quick already. He
All
just
at
needs to
once.
just relax himself. Now,
Exactly.
exactly, all at once. Now, now with now, as I stated before, Peter's playing the best game. As I stated before, he's what we call the silent ninja.
He's leading from behind.
Nobody knows exactly.
Yes.
Like I said, and what he's doing, it's so genius to where, look, you know what? He knows where to put his 2 cents in, and he knows where not to.
Exactly.
That's the genius part about that.
Right.
And
Peter is on nobody's radar right now. I would be shocked if Peter didn't at least make it to jury. I would be floored if Peter somehow didn't make it to at least ninth place. I think Peter has at least locked that up so far.
Well, I mean,
Peter could ride it out for a while.
Oh yeah, no, exactly, no, and I think, like I said, with Peter, like I said, you know what, he's gonna write it out.
Ooh.
I think, he probably can make it up to at least six, six, in that, or probably a little more further down. But
Sergio, I don't think anyone can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Much better.
Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No, as I was saying before, like I said, if anything, with what's going on with Peter, with the other house guests, with Gary, Gary, he's, like I said, he's gonna shoot himself in the foot. I would say midweek he's gonna shoot himself in the foot, and I see that coming a mile away. I'm gonna, and I'm gonna guarantee this guy, he's gonna shoot himself in the foot. Probably like piss one person off that he doesn't need to do that with. He's gonna do it, and he's gonna shoot himself in the foot. Guarantee it. I'm gonna put my stamp of approval on this. Guarantee it.
Yes. I was really, really hoping that Gary did not win the veto, because I was really looking forward to the imminent self-destruction. I think he's one of those types that if he's on the block with no possibility of parole, he's going to blow up and dig his own grave and go.
He's gonna have an ugly, ugly exit. He's gonna have probably. We all know he's gonna have one of the ugliest exits even before he goes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was really hoping that he didn't get a hold of that POV, and I don't know what game it was that he won it, but it just goes to show anybody can win these competitions. Anybody.
Well, no, but that's, come on though. But this is what we always say about Survivor too. It's like they know what challenges are going to be on a given season. Right. What they don't, but they plan which challenge goes where based on what's happening in the game. So I guarantee you, they had a Gary challenge in their back pocket, and they just needed to bust it out a little bit earlier, because they do not want Gary leaving right now.
Here's all right. So my experience was hotel room before the Big Brother season started. Allison Grodner and Rich Meehan come in, and they give us the little rundown, and Allison Grodner and Rich Meehan say, it's like, look, there are conspiracy theories out there that we switch the challenge order. They go, we're not out to help anyone or screw anybody. The challenge order is fixed. And to an extent, I believe that because we see oftentimes that certain challenges always happen in the same week range. Like, for instance, that game in Big Brother where they, do some kind of skill and then everyone's eliminated each round and gets a prize and they trade for the prizes, right? That's always either been week 4, 5, or 6. And sure enough, in my season, it was in week 4. So
Yep.
it's always around then. And I understand that. Like, sure, there were like a lot of, calls. It's like, oh yeah, they had the first coaches challenge be, running around a slippery trail, and Mike has speed skating experience. Or Ian needs to be in a game where he has a puzzle to solve with the shark fin. But it really seems to me like the challenge order is supposedly fixed, and I do believe that. It's just there are crapshoot games in there that someone like Gary is going to be able to win.
Right. Sergio, what do you think about Peter and Alec? These are two guys that are supposed like social game masters. Do you think that their alliance is going to stick, or are they going to be able to figure each other out as being each other's worst enemy?
I feel that if anything, I think Peter's going to figure this out more than Alec will. More than Alec will at this point, because obviously, with Peter, again, he's kind of like that one step ahead of everything, and I see that, on him because everybody, like I said, everybody's telling him everything what to him. So with Alec, it's kind of like, okay, well, I can tell you things, but I'm not going to really divulge too much to you. So, and I believe, like I said, Peter's going to figure this out way before Alec is.
Well, Ian, like, in terms of Alec, if he's such a big social psychologist, then what's he doing getting into a showmance for this supposed BB nerd?
Yeah, I mean, showmance can definitely help your game, but this early on, it's just going to make you a target. So, I hope that Alec has, some sort of ability to, if he's up on the block against his showmantic partner, that he can somehow turn it around so that she'll go. But showmancing, not a good strategy right off the bat. Want to make it midway, like Boogie and Erica. I mean, that was really worked out well for Boogie.
Do you think having 3 showmances this soon is good for the show? Well, I can address this. I can tell you that Slice in Canada is a channel that is primarily geared towards females. Like, almost all their programming is like wedding shows and like makeover shows. So I think in terms of good for the show, I think it is, because I think it's going to result in higher ratings on Slice. But good for BB fans, definitely not.
No.
Yeah,
Good
exactly.
for the show, not good for the game.
Exactly. Yes, that's how I feel as well. Sergio,
I
tell
agree
me,
with you too. I really do.
Sergio, what do you think about Liza? She's the one that cast the vote against Emmett. She also seems to be a lot sharper than anybody gave her credit for. Everybody was calling her the Canadian Jen Johnson, but I feel like she might be a little bit more Lisa Donahue.
That's an apt comparison.
Yeah, no, and yeah, no, it really is. No, because I mean, I think I even said it to myself. I was like, look, you know what, because she seems like what we call the Jen Johnson, just like, okay, I'm gonna be there, but not really, want to be there. But then she turned it around. It's like, wait a minute, she showed us something a little bit there. It's like, oh, okay, you know what, I can still play this game. I'm gonna show my cards out just a little bit there, but then I'm not going to show them too much to you too fast.
Ian?
For sure. Yeah, I agree. Good Lord. I think that the comparison that you made, Murtz, is a very apt comparison. I much more see a Lisa Donahue type rather than Jen Johnson. I think Lisa is probably the more apt comparison there.
Yeah, and I just think she's playing very well. Like, I think that she's a very shrewd player, and I don't think that she comes off as a big threat. Like, her and Emmett, I feel like, are two that I was way off on, and I don't mind admitting it. Like, I did not see the game from those two, and in fact, I think that they're playing two of the best games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll co-sign on that.
Emmett too. Like Emmett, I thought he was such a dud. I didn't even know why Robin put him on there. I thought he had no personality in his video, and now he's basically running Jillian's HOH.
I mean, here's Emmett, adversity early on, nominated right in the first week, could have been in trouble, if things didn't go the right way with the veto, and sure enough, here he is, and he's making a power play. It's always the people that are in trouble early. Always. Don't know what it
And
is.
you know what else, Sergio, is like if we go back and we look at what Kat was saying, like everybody accused Kat of overplaying, and like she even called herself the Brian of the season. But what she was saying actually ended up being true. If she had put that girls' alliance together, I think it could have done some damage. Why is it that girls just are incapable of working together on this show? It's the same thing as when we had Libra and Keisha and April. Like, I just don't understand why they can't work together. If they had listened to Kat, maybe we wouldn't have Testosterone City.
Yeah, no, and I do agree because again, obviously, what Kat was saying, obviously, again, what people were hearing it, but they weren't actually letting it marinate to that extent. They were just like, okay, I was probably telling whatever, just try to get herself off the block. But no, she was telling actual truth, so nobody actually believed her when they were saying, hey, she's just screaming, all kinds of propaganda out there. So I'm not gonna really kind of listen to it, whatever. But obviously, again, she was telling the truth.
I think it was her method, right?
I would
Yeah,
say that.
yeah, no,
I
it
also
really
say
was.
there's. Sorry. I would
Yeah, no,
I would
go ahead.
definitely say that
Ian,
there's
Ian.
definitely a factor that girls hate other girls. We've seen it time and time again. Um, I firmly believe that there's a reason no girl has ever beaten a guy in the final two on Big Brother. I feel that also there's a reason that that's only happened a few times. At least three occasions has there been uh, a girl against a guy in the final two. It's just girls don't like other girls. Period.
Right,
Something in human
right.
psychology.
I think we are going to start wrapping things up here. We'll take some questions. This is everybody's final chance to tweet. You can do that by hitting the tweet button in your window. We have another show coming up next Sunday with Brittany and Caitlin from The Amazing Race. Let's take some questions real quick. Let's see. We can all answer this one. Who do you think will win, Ian and Murtz? I think we are all on the same page here. Peter, yeah.
Peter.
Sergio, yeah.
Yep, yep, Peter.
I mean, early goings, but Peter is in a beautiful position, and he's smart. And if it's anything like the USBB, where the challenges at the end are geared heavily towards mental challenges, then if he gets anywhere close to the top six or so, he'll go on a run in its game, set, and match.
Ian, how does it feel to have the BB Canada house guests talk about you on the live feeds?
Really cool. I've seen a handful of it, based on what they're saying, and I think that it's really neat. I'm really looking forward to the American version because I'm going to get to see more of it, and I'm sure more of them will be familiar with, me and how I play the game. But it's really, really cool, and I definitely appreciate it.
I mean, I guess that addresses. I kept thinking the next American one was going to be a full-out All-Stars, especially with the early start, but it looks like it is not.
Some people that you know, and maybe someone that I know that maybe you don't know, might be appearing, and maybe some of the viewers heard a little bit over the summer about it. So we'll see. There might be a few familiar faces and a few unfamiliar faces, but we'll see what happens.
All right. From Alex. Ian, how do you think Murtz would do on BB Canada? Well, if AJ's any example.
That's what I was about to say. I mean, if AJ is friends with Murtz and Murtz and AJ are similar, I would imagine birds of a feather flock together. We'll see how AJ does and use that as a barometer. Murtz,
Don't say that.
How did you do on Media Day? I saw that you didn't get voted off on Media Day, but how did it go?
Well, okay. Well, I have It's a good thing you brought this up, Ian. Like, I actually just about an hour ago posted my updated video of exactly
Okay.
what happened.
Okay.
And, I do want to tell this story, okay? So I am glad you brought this up. Here's what
Yes.
happened. I have always wanted to do Media
Yeah.
Day, okay?
Yeah.
Ever since Big
Absolutely.
Brother in
I
the
would agree.
States came out.
Right.
Yeah, it's all I've wanted to do. And so when I found out that Canada was getting Big Brother, the first thing I started doing was making phone calls saying, okay, is there going to be a media day? I want to do the media day. In fact, they'll even tell you that I probably called them the most. I literally called every day. So when it eventually came out, this to me was like the Super Bowl. Okay, like I could
Yeah.
not lose. So they were being really hardcore about the details. So I got this like message that said, you got to bring a swimsuit and you got to bring two pairs of shoes and this and that. And so I kept saying to them, how many people are playing? Because on a real show, actually, you can address that.
Right.
On the real Big Brother, do they tell you how many are going in, or do they just tell you that you've made it?
I was told that I had made it, and then I, on press day, saw like a chart, and I saw 14 like listings in the chart. So I said there's 14 people, but that was obviously because there was 12 plus two alternates. So I had no idea how many people were going to be in there. I was also told that I was spot number 11 on the stairs in the front yard, and that there were 14 total spots. So I said, okay, 14 as I expected, only 12 plus the coaches. So we have no idea.
Right. Okay. So I kept saying how many are going to be there. They refused to answer. So then I started making some phone calls, like I would say probably 2 weeks before. And I was like, hey, so what are you doing on February 15th? Just to get a gauge if any of my friends were going. And I pretty much had figured out like 5 or 6 that were going. So what's the next step? I make all these pre-alliances. Oh, we get in there, like it's only going to be one vote. All I want you to do is like vote for me. So like I had probably 5 or 6 people in my pocket. Then I called Dan Giesling, and I'm
Right.
like, is there anything else I should do? And he's like, just lay low. Okay, so I feel like going in, I couldn't have done any more. I've got 5 people in my pocket. I've got Dan telling me what to do. We get in there. The first thing that happens is there's like a twist right at the start of the game, and Dan comes on the video screen, and Dan's like, hey, Murtz, I want you to pick 4 people. So I pick 4 people, and he's like, those 4 are on slop for the rest of the day. I have been complaining and complaining and complaining about this, okay? And I was like, that is complete BS. I'm like, those 4 people were never going to vote for me then at the end, because at the end only one person gets
Right.
evicted and everybody
Right.
else votes for the best player. So you cost me 4 votes right at the start of the
Yeah.
game. And I understand, Ian. I understand that it's not a fair game. I
Right.
get it. Like, I know that that's happened, like, to Shima and stuff like that.
Sure.
But what I don't understand is why was I not shown the draw? Because they claim that it was a random draw that saw me have to do it because they had to pre-tape the segment with Dan, so they had to do it the day before, and they did a draw and I lost. I do not believe this. Okay, you're telling me that Dan, the guy that I called 2 days before for
That's
advice on the
funny.
game,
That's
did
funny.
not suggest? Give me a break.
That's I mean I obviously don't know, but that seems like a bit of a stretch to me.
Too much of a coincidence. I agree. Anyway, okay, so, and just to wrap things up here, because I don't want to talk about it for too long, but that was strike one. And
Okay.
then strike two. Oh, and by the way, their justification for doing that. Oh, wait. Okay. So after the slop thing happens, basically, like, we make all these alliances. One of the girls who hosts the morning show here, who I actually
Yeah.
thought was going to be the host of Big Brother Canada,
Right,
she
right.
flipped on she flipped on our alliance. She tried to get the votes stacked against us, and then her strategy to win was, while the game was going on, she kept telling all the other people that, hey, if you vote for me to win, I'm going to put you on my morning show. So all these
Oh
idiots,
no.
like, listened to her, okay? And now
The
here's the
old
coup de grace.
Chiltern strategy. Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Completely Chiltern strategy. But here's the key. Even with that, I still managed to tie her in votes at the end. The
Okay.
only reason that she won is
Yeah.
because they permitted self-voting.
Oh,
Yes.
that sucks.
So As soon as wait, you know what? I'm gonna type I'm gonna type the address in here because I actually want you guys to watch the video of this because everybody got the same like footage to use when we like cut our stories. Let's just say it's taken me 5 days to put this together to tell you the real story of what happened. Okay, self-voting. Are you give me a break? Give me a
Voting.
break with your self-voting. Sorry, hang on. I'm gonna get this link in a second. But anyway, yeah. So I'm very disappointed to both of you about like not winning. Like, it's like getting to the Super Bowl and then not being able to take home the trophy. I feel like the Buffalo Bills. There it is. Wait, I'll now put it on screen. All right. So if you want to watch the video, and if you want to read my 4,000 word dissertation on exactly what happened, there is the link. I'm a little bit obsessive. This is like probably my 5th time writing about it. In any event, okay. Another story for another day. Thank you for listening to that. That was like a really long tangent that I just went on.
Hey, that's fine. That's
I don't know. I could go on many. My friends in real life like hate me now because somehow I'll always bring it back to Big Brother, and like I'll be like, well, in this situation, the Mike Boogie should have done this, and they're like, please stop talking about this. We don't want to hear about it anymore. It happened 6 months ago. Please stop. So I understand completely.
Well, now you understand why AJ and I are friends.
Right. Once you've been in that house, your life is different forever. Everything you ever do will cause you to think of that experience.
So true. I literally cannot stop thinking of self-voting. And then I complained, and they were like, oh, we had the executive producer from Big Brother Germany here to oversee the media game, and he said that we should allow everybody to just do what they want because the best Big Brothers are when we allow the house guests to have freedom. And I'm like, that's freedom to, like, go outside in the hot tub. That's not freedom to change the fundamental rules of a social game.
Right, absolutely. I mean, I mean, yeah, there's got to be some kind of set kind of rules. Well, what do you
Anyway.
mean? Do whatever you want. Nominate 3 people for eviction? What the
Yeah,
fuck?
that's exactly what it is, dude.
Yeah.
It's just anyway. Please read that article. I don't think I could have eloquented. If you think that like this was a rant, when you read that article and you read the
Sure.
4,000 words, it'll explain my thought process on the entire thing. Okay, enough. All right,
Yeah.
I'm probably going to let you guys go.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll be doing more Big Brother Canada shows in the
I've been
future.
watching. Okay, sounds good to me.
And definitely, I'm gonna get AJ on here.
Hopefully not for
I'm
a
hoping,
long time.
yeah, I'm hopefully not for a long time. Hopefully not for a long time, but he will be here, I'm sure. In fact, we might even do it from his house as a joke. From his parents' basement. All right.
All right.
Gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Everyone, thanks for coming out. Late night show.
Yeah.
Everyone, have a good night. Cheers out.
Yeah. Cheers. See you guys.
Bang. Bang.